All right, welcome everyone to our Top Recruiters Tell It All call today. Today is December 4th, and our goal today is to only talk about recruiting and how to maximize your recruiting. And my name's Claudia Bazar, for anyone that hasn't met me yet. So tonight, we're going to specifically talk about how I recruited my last 10 people in the last 60 days. Okay, seven of them were recruited just in the month of November. So how would it make you feel if you were to bring on 7 people in the month of December or January? Would you guys be excited? Jumping up and down? Yes.
Yes.
7 people also pretty much guarantees you a promotion in each level, whether it's team leader, director, advanced director. It kind of all happens with recruiting. So, and there's no magic to it. It's all about consistency and just being confident in yourself and believing that this is the best opportunity out there. So the first thing we're going to talk about is why we should share this amazing business with everyone, right? So whether you are a brand new consultant that just joined yesterday or you are a seasoned consultant, just think about why you started, when you started, and what this business has done for you and your family. So, whether you maybe had one paycheck that was $100 or you've had, tons of paychecks and you accumulated thousands of dollars that you made with Pampered Chef, that is more money that you had before you started, right? So, money is definitely the reason why we should share this opportunity. Lots of people looking for extra income, even people that work full time, are still out there looking for more money. So, and maybe you didn't join for the money. Maybe you just love the starter kit because the starter kits are amazing and you just decided to come on for the discounts and, just get, everything that comes out all the time for discounted, right? And be the known of the first things that come out with Pampered Chef. So maybe you just joined for the starter kit and just for products. Or maybe you just joined because you wanted to get out of the house and, socialize with grown-ups or just have a good time and just have something for yourself. So whatever that reason might be why you joined, that could be the exact same reason why someone out there is looking to join your team and join Pampered Chef, right? So why would we be selfish and hold this amazing opportunity to ourselves, right? Whether you want to be a recruiter or not, we should be sharing this with everyone. Everyone can benefit from this, whatever the reasons might be that I just kind of went over. So, just don't be selfish about this business opportunity. Think about what it has done for you and how this business can help them. So don't think about, I don't want to recruit, that's something I don't want to do, or don't think about as in, I need 5 people to promote to the next level with this company. So always make it about them. So if you can flip that one switch in your head, I can guarantee you that your results are going to change as well. So make it about them. How can this business benefit this specific person and why do they need to be in this business? So, the other question is why recruit, right? So why should we recruit? Lots of benefits to recruiting and sharing this business. First of all, we're helping others. And I will tell you that the more you recruit, the more satisfying it is to see people, and I'm just getting goosebumps talking about it, but just to see people reach their goals and people, achieve their dreams. And I don't know if Brianne's on, but Brianne today just earned the incentive trip. And that was just like so exciting for me because she's been tracking it, for 12 months and she finally hit it. And just seeing that. And even if someone maybe just wants $100 a month to go shopping or go get a pedicure, just like even little accomplishments, anything, it's just so rewarding to watch that, okay? The other thing is you're going to be working smarter and not harder when you start bringing in team members. You are going to make more money for every person you bring in, and you're going to promote in the career plan that Pampered Chef offers to us. You can also earn excellence in recruiting. If you do not know what excellence is, it's Excellence Awards. Go on Consultants Corner and just be nosy and search for Excellence Awards. And you can get free jewelry and 500 Pampered Chef dollars, and you get to walk the stage at national conference and when you set yourself up for excellence in recruiting. And I will tell you that if you look at it now, and maybe you might be at 0, we still have like 6 months. I think the ending period is like May or something, or June, to earn excellence in recruiting. And setting a goal like that really will help you just grow your business in general. The other reason why you should recruit, or why you want to recruit, is because you're going to earn that incentive trip that we're finding out about, most of you tomorrow, maybe Tuesday, or maybe some of you already know, the directors on this call. You're going to earn the incentive trip a lot faster, because for every person that you bring on, you get, once they qualify with $12.50, doesn't have to be in the first 30 days. Once they qualify with $12.50, you get 3,000 trip points. Okay? I solely earned the trip, like I have 70,000 recruiting points. I could have earned one trip just by recruiting and not selling one single thing. So that is a very fast way to earn the trip. And you're also going to earn Pampered Chef dollars for every qualified recruit that you bring on. If you're in your first 90 days, if you're still in your rewards period, you get 130 Pampered Chef dollars. If you're not, you get 30 Pampered Chef dollars. And those can add up very quickly when you consistently recruit. So every time you're like, need new catalogs, order forms, guess what? You got Pampered Chef dollars sitting in your account that you can use. So, you know, we talked about why we want to share this opportunity, and we talked about why to recruit and how that would benefit you in your business as well. So let's talk a little bit about who we're going to recruit and how to get them interested, right? So this could be repetition for some of you, because you know what? It's not magic. So let's raise your hand if you were a host before you joined Pampered Chef. Keep your hand up. Who hosted before they joined Pampered Chef? Okay, look at all these hands, guys. What should that tell you? Ask your host a gazillion times until they tell you to not ask anymore, right? So every single host is a potential recruit lead. So if you're sitting here thinking, I don't have any leads, if you have 4 parties on your books, you have 4 leads, right? So every single host is a potential recruit lead. So make sure you ask them, and you ask them multiple times, okay? So some of my go-to words that I use for every single person, every time, as soon as I set up their party online, on Facebook or whatever, I just say, hey, Troy. Troy's my host. Hey, Troy, thank you so much for hosting a Pampered Chef party. Your party is all set up, ready to go. Go ahead and invite all your friends on Facebook. And listen, since you're already hosting a party, have you ever considered trying Pampered Chef as a business? I can easily turn this party into your launch party, meaning not only would you get the hostess rewards, but you would also get paid right away. What do you think? Okay, not let me know. Not, that's it, right? What do you think? How do you feel about that? So this is one way I offer it. If it's before if they join for me, if they join before I start the party, if they join, a week before their actual cooking party, I can turn it into their launch party. If you do not want to do that, that is okay. If you want to get paid for that party, you can, and then you just offer them the kit credit. So same thing, right? You offer the same thing and say, hey, have you ever considered trying Pampered Chef? Did you know that you can actually save money on the starter kit as a host, up to $50 less for the kid when you decide to try Pampered Chef? So 2 different ways you can offer it, but you should get that out like right away, because someone's going to tell you no like 5 times before they say yes. And I see lots of people on here that I recruited, and I know they told me no a lot of times, right? I'm looking at Elise. She's like, no, I don't have room, I don't have money, blah, blah, and here she is today, okay? So you just never know. So, most of them are not going to say, they're not going to jump up and down and say, oh yeah, you know what, sign me up, I'll go order that kit right away, right? But what you're doing is you're planting that seed. So unless they're like, no, never, you know, there's still plenty of times for you to ask for more. So they might say, yeah, I've kind of thought about it. I'm just not sure. Let's see how the party goes. I don't know if I'll have time. So if they say that, they're giving you an objection that now you have to figure out how to conquer. Okay. And if you're new, or even if you're seasoned and, recruiting has not kind of been your strength yet, then I highly recommend to you to reach out to your director. Okay, that is what we're here for. We are here to help you, and we are here to help you grow your team. So if someone is a little bit interested but they're just not sure, something that you could say to your potential recruit is something along the lines of, hey, listen, I know this business would be perfect for your busy life, and I just want to make sure I answer all your questions correctly. And since I'm still pretty new, I would love to set up a 3-way call with you, me, and Claudia, who's helping me getting started, just to make sure we get all your questions answered right away. Do you have 10 minutes tomorrow that we could chat? And I guarantee you, if you can get them to me, your upline, Donna, any of our directors, we're probably going to sign them. Okay. And check with your upline, because I'm sure they probably have some incentives in place for you to set up these 3-way chats as well. So don't be afraid to say that, but don't scare people away with saying, hey, let's set up an interview with my executive director, because then they might be like, I don't know about that. That sounds a little scary. But if you just say, let's set up a 3-way chat, and maybe if they don't want to do a phone call, maybe see if you can do a group message on Facebook, and that way we can just help answer any questions. But I will tell you, my go-to questions are always, hey, what's sparking your interest in joining Pampered Chef? Okay, and then you just let them talk. And then you can say, do you have any questions, or do you just need to know how to get started? Guys, if they're ready to get started, there's no reason to go into Pampered Chef dollars and rewards and sign-on bonus and commission, and there's no reason. If they're ready, you just sign them, and then we can go over all the details. So if you're not setting up interviews with your director, the tip I will give you is don't overload them with all the information. I know we can get excited because they can get so much stuff when they join, right? Especially this month, the extra 30 days, the stoneware, and they can make money, and they can be on track for the trip, and blah, blah, blah. But that can be too overwhelming for someone. If they hear $12.50, they might be like, I'm not doing that, right? So listen to them. Put on your listening ears, as they tell my little girl in preschool, right? Put on your listening ears and listen to their needs and the questions they have. Okay, that's all you're there for. You're only helping them answer any questions and just asking them if they're ready to get started. If they're ready to get started, if you're on the phone with them, just say, okay, are you in front of a computer? I'll walk you through ordering your kid right now. If you're messaging them on Facebook, just send them the link, tell them how to proceed, and boom, you got yourself a new team member. So, and what else am I going to say? I think okay. So just make sure you're asking them multiple times, okay? Every single host, multiple times. And it doesn't have to be always official asking, as in, would you like to join this business? Would you like to buy a kit? But sometimes just dropping little hints, okay? So if I'm setting up a virtual party and that host within 3 hours has 30 people going, and her friends are posting yay, Pampered Chef, woohoo, I need this, I need that. Then I might say something like, oh my God, your friends are loving Pampered Chef. Apparently they need their own Pampered Chef consultants. Are you sure you don't want to do this? Hint, hint. Or, oh my God, your party just started yesterday and we already have $200 in orders. I already made $40 and I haven't even done anything. Why are you not getting paid for this? Do you not need extra money? Just some fun little seeds like that. It doesn't have to be always the official, would you like to join Pampered Chef and make money? So just keep dropping little hints like that. Or if you have that host that just goes Facebook Live in their virtual party, or decides to do their own little demo at the party and brings out all their Pampered Chef, and they start kind of selling for you. Those are the people that you want to drop those little hints to, hey, you just did my job tonight. Are you sure you don't want to get paid for this? Are you sure you don't want to take the kid credit? Or you got 3 bookings. Your friends want to do Pampered Chef. Are you positive you don't want to take the kid credit? So unless that party is closed, I keep asking. Okay, so just remember to keep asking. It doesn't have to come across pushy. Okay, just be fun, drop little hints, and just keep asking. So the other way you're going to recruit, one of them is your host, and the other big way to recruit is at your actual party. Right? So at your party, just make sure, whether it's, and I'll talk about the virtual party too, but at a cooking show, just make sure you plant a little seed during your opening. Okay, it doesn't have to be a 10-minute spiel, but something like along the lines of, hey, I know you didn't come here tonight thinking you want to be a Pampered Chef consultant and want to wear this cute little apron, but just kind of watch what I do today. And if you could imagine yourself behind the apron, and if you're looking to make some extra money, if you're looking for something fun to do to get out of the house, you're more than welcome to ask me any questions during the demonstration. But just kind of watch what I do, and we can chat about it later. So just a little seed, okay? During the demo or the station style or whatever type of show you do, make sure to say things like, hey, oh my God, this everyday pan comes in the starter kit now. Isn't that crazy? Or look at this manual food processor and these 2 other items. They all come in the starter kit. So little seeds like that. During your show closing, make sure you play a recruiting game. Okay, do not just say, here are the specials, I'm checking out here. This is where people are going to ask you questions. So make sure you play a recruiting game like the ticket activity or the Stealing Hearts game. If you do not know what the Stealing Hearts game is, you can just go on YouTube and type in Claudia Bazaar Stealing Hearts and you can find it, or you can call your director, and I'm pretty positive they will know what the Stealing Hearts game is. And you could even play that virtually and go live at a specific time and have people ask you questions. And so play a recruiting game. Make sure you tell them about the sign-on bonus. And when you're playing the recruiting game, I highly recommend that when they ask the question, how much money do you make, that you have those 4 envelopes ready with the 4 different stories of 4 different people on our team and how much money they make. And one of the envelopes should definitely be your story. Whether it's 1 paycheck and you did 1 virtual party and made $50, okay? Or whether you did 2 cooking shows and made $200. Like, make sure you're using those envelopes. And again, if you need access to them, they're on the Landy Chef pin post, or they're on the Bazaar Bullet Train pin post as well. So make sure you go looking for those. And after your show closing, your full service checkout. This is where you're going to seal the deal, right? This is where people book their parties. This is where people join your team. So make sure to say something like, hey, oh my God, have you ever thought about doing something like Pampered Chef? Or, hey, Lisa, you were like selling all these products and you seem to be like a Pampered Chef lover. Have you ever considered getting paid for your addiction? Little seeds like that. And if someone is interested and you might not know how to seal the deal, just say like, you know what? You're going to have lots of questions. Let me give you this Join Us brochure. Can I give you a call tomorrow with Claudia, who's helping me getting started right now, and we can help answer any more questions. How does that sound? And I will tell you that this is how I got recruited, okay? I got set up with a phone call with Donna Landy, and this is why I'm here, okay? So you can all do this. And if they are, if they're slightly interested, then I always like to say, you know what? While you look over the brochure and while you might come up with some questions, let's get you down for a party, because you want to have a party regardless. And then once we have your party, or once we get closer to your party, we can talk about making this your launch party and you making money of this party right away. How does that sound? Okay, so make sure you plant the seed at the opening for your party. You have a seed, plant some seeds during the demonstration. You play an activity game, a recruiting game, and you ask them at full service checkout. And you're going to ask every single person, even if they might not look like they could do Pampered Chef, okay? Ask every single person. Don't prejudge. Ask everyone. All they can say is no. So make sure you set up those 3-way calls. And so let's talk about the virtual party. The virtual party is, basically the same thing. So you're going to talk about, do a post about the new consultant offer that just happened in December. You're going to post a picture of, ask me any questions about the business. For example, how much money do I make? How often do I work? And, you get 20 extra tickets, or you get 5 extra tickets. And remember that when they're asking you a question, if they're asking you how often do you work, they don't want to know how often you work. They want to know how often they will have to work when they join your team. So I always answer with, well, this is how much I work, I tell them 3 shows, whatever. But when you decide to join, guess what? You set your own times, right? So always bring it back to you. You can answer with your, what they want to know about you, and then always bring it back to you. But when you decide to give this business a try, this is how much you're going to sell, or this is how much, you have to work, or this is how little you're going to work. So always bring it back to them. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to, one more thing, out and about contacts. Okay. So, or out and about on Facebook, when people, when you see someone on your Facebook that just posts about recipes all the time, that posts about cooking, baking with their kids, don't be afraid to reach out to them and say like, hey, you're already taking all these pictures in your kitchen. Have you ever thought about getting paid for it? Or, a lot of times you see people, oh God, we lost our job, or, oh, I'm looking for extra little holiday job. Don't be afraid to reach out to them and offer them this business. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you specifically through my last 10 recruits, how they joined and why. So that way you can see how maybe different they are, but also how they are all kind of the same. So let's talk about Melanie. So Melanie just joined a couple days ago. I met Melanie, and I don't think she's on. I met Melanie through a virtual party, and she was just so excited during the party. She was like all over this party that she booked her own party. She had originally scheduled a cooking show, but the day just kind of didn't work out for a lot of her people, so we just switched it to a virtual party. So many of you could have maybe been disappointed and been like, oh, okay, it's just a virtual party, right? But we actually were playing phone tag for a very long time and had a hard time getting a hold of each other. But she just kind of struck me as that person. She was like, I used to sell it and I really love this stuff. But she hasn't been to a party in years, and she actually lives 2 hours away from me. And all her friends were like wanting to book parties, and they were just so excited that they finally got invited to a virtual Pampered Chef party. So I just kept dropping hints to her about joining because she loved it. And she was like, oh no, I don't have time. And I was like, come on, Melanie, you're like awesome. You're selling all these goodies. Why are you not getting paid for it? So we finally got to talk on the phone. I was like, give me a phone call. Let's talk about it. And guys, if you're afraid of the phone, if you're afraid to talk to these hosts, you really need to get over it. You just need to talk to them. And it doesn't have to be a strict agenda. Just talk to them. Find out who these people are. They're all so different. And sometimes just talking to someone on the phone, they kind of sell themselves on the kit, right? They will start talking about, like Melanie specifically, she's like, I already have a $700 party. This is crazy. And, these people that want to book a party, and everybody's so excited. And I still got 3 orders at the office, and 2 more people want to order here. And, you did say the kit credit. And I'm like, yeah, so what you're telling me is you already sold yourself on the kit. I really don't have to tell you anything else, right? So we're just going to take the kit credit and join. She kind of laughed it off. But you know what? At the end of the conversation, she was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I should just do this. And she was giving me more reasons of why she actually needs this extra income that she wasn't telling me before, because, that's not something you just kind of tell someone real quick over Facebook. So that's how Melanie joined. Okay. So the other day I posted, and some of you might have seen it, a message text with Car. So Car ordered through a virtual party, and that virtual party, she just ordered a couple little things. And by the end of the party, she actually messaged me and she just said, can you add the rock to my order and take the rest of the stuff off? I just kind of want to get the rock for now, and I'll get the rest later. So I was like, sure, no problem. I can do that, right? I could have stopped right then and there, many of you would have stopped right then and there and be like, oh my God, that $40 order just went to $150. Yay, awesome, right? But no, she still had things that she wanted, right? So what I told her, I was like, hey, why don't we do this? Why don't you have your own virtual party so we can get the rest of the stuff for free? And she's like, yeah, let's do that, but my friends are shopped out, I think she called it. How about April? I was like, sure, I'll put you down for April. And then I remembered that she actually asked a question on the business post. So I said, hey, Car, have you ever thought about doing Pampered Chef? I mean, you're already getting the rock. You could just kind of get the starter kit. Have you ever considered it? And she's like, you know what? I've thought about it, but I need to find out about the business laws in Virginia and see if I have to get a business license. And I'm like, I can tell you more about that. I actually started my business in Virginia. Can I give you a call? And she's like, yeah, sure. Give me a call in 30 minutes. So I called her because it's so much easier to just talk to people on the phone than go back through message and back and forth. And then my kids come and then it's like 3 days later and we still haven't had a real conversation. So if I can call them just real quick and kind of find out who these people are and they can get to know me as well, it's just so much easier. So we talked on the phone. I said, you know what? I didn't have a business license when I was there, blah, blah, blah. By the time we're done, she ordered her kit. Okay, so this girl went from changing her order to a rock to having a party in April to ordering her kit. And I just talked to her today or yesterday, and she has 2 parties on her books, right? So here is Cara that joined this month. So let's talk about Jessica. Okay, so Jessica, I met at a party. I just had a party last Saturday, and she was at the party. She asked a lot of questions during the Stealing Hearts game, and, she placed an order, and then she's like, I'll have a party. I definitely want to have a party. So I told her right then and there, I'm like, Jessica, you asked a lot of questions about this business. Have you ever considered doing it? And she's like, yeah, I thought about it a couple years back, and then I chickened out. I'm just too afraid I won't get any business and stuff like that. And I was like, Jessica, you're already having a party, right? Take this brochure home, the Join Us booklet, look over it with your husband. I think I answered all your questions, but I want you to talk to your husband about it. And what we can do is your party is in 2 weeks from now. So if you decide to join before your party, we can make this your launch party. So you can actually make money on your party. And I was like, how would that sound? She's like, oh, that sounds pretty good. She's like, I'll talk it over with him. The next day she emails me and says, you know what? I'm ready to order that kit. And now this is her launch party. So there's Jessica. All right. So Michelle, let's talk about Michelle. So Michelle, I actually green dotted a couple weeks ago because I needed some virtual parties. And I just said, hey, you want to have a virtual party? December host gets 60% off any one item. She's like, yeah, sure. That sounds like fun. So we set that up, and I kid you not, this has been my record-breaking attendee. Within literally a couple hours, she had like 60 people going. I don't even think it was a couple hours. I think it was like 60 minutes, and there was 60 people going. And she was like, hey, I have the rock and have the deep cover baker that I ordered from you years ago. Can I go live and do like a quick demo? And I was like, yeah, here are the fajitas, here are the lava cake. I'm like, go ahead. And guess what? She went live. Like, it was so adorable. She was cute and pregnant, and she just went live. And I was like, why are you not doing this? Why are you not getting paid? And she's like, well, I'm pregnant. I already do some, she already does a different business. It just kind of went back and forth. And I said, hey, can we talk about it on the phone? Can you give me a call? So we talked about it on the phone. She was actually very thorough with her questions, lots of questions. By the time we were done, she just decided, hey, I want to be a hobby consultant. I don't want to do, 10 parties a month. That's not what I want to do. But I wouldn't mind doing this, doing the bookings that I get from this party, and then just collect some orders, because people were really excited at work when I brought the catalog in. So that's what we did. I closed the first couple orders off her party. As soon as her party hit 400, she took the $50 kit credit, and now the rest of the virtual party is hers. Okay. So here is Michelle's example. Then I have Darla. Darla, are you still on? Darla's still here?
Yeah.
Yay!
Yep,
You want to tell them how you joined so they can hear it from you?
Well, I just kept showing up to the freezer mill workshops, and Claudia asked if I had been interested, and initially I wanted to say no, but I ended up saying yes, because why not? And I could use the extra money, so here I am, making money.
And she just came to some freezer meals, and then I asked her about having her own party. And I was like, why are you not doing this? You're already doing freezer meals every month. You could just get paid on the freezer meals, and let's see how your party goes, and we'll get you some money from there. And guess what? There she is, right? So easy peasy. It doesn't always have to be this crazy ordeal. So let's talk about Yaira. Yaira came to a Pampered Chef party. Total newbie, was totally overwhelmed with everything. She was like, oh my God, everything is awesome. I'm going to have my own party. And she wasn't quite ready to sign before her party, but during checkout, I made sure to talk about the kid credit again. And she was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. And she decided to join then. If someone is just so excited about Pampered Chef, guys, like they really need to join. Whether they just come in for the discount, whether they come in as a hobby consultant, whether they come as a full-time consultant, they just need to join your team. So let's talk about Linda. Why do I hear myself twice now? Okay. Please mute yourself. Bottom left. All right. I hear myself. I gotta mute some people. Let me see. Oh, maybe John, that was you. I don't know. Anyways, so Linda, I met at a vendor event, a while ago. I think it might have been a year ago. And she was interested in freezer meals. She attended a couple freezer meals. And then I reached out to her about having a party. We had to move her actual original cooking show date. She had her party, and her friends were excited. She told me how much she loves Pampered Chef and how much she could use some extra income. And I just told her, why don't you just join and do this? I don't want to drive out there all the time and do parties. So why don't you just join and just do freezer meals? And so she just joined. She was just a very good customer over the years. She's always ordered stuff. So now it was just time for her to, just join Pampered Chef. Okay, so Andrea, I met Andrea through a virtual party. She filled out a drawing slip, the Google drawing slip. So make sure you guys do that if you don't have that yet. And she filled out a drawing slip, and she said she was interested in booking a party. So when I reached out to her about her party, she said, I'm actually might be interested in joining Pampered Chef. So what I said was, hey, can I give you a call and we can talk about it? She said, sure, call me and whenever. I don't know. It's been a while. But I always try and call them, guys, because again, if you're messaging back and forth, and especially virtual parties, if I don't know these people and they don't know me, it's really hard to build that relationship. And I will tell you that people will join your team. They will book parties with you because they feel a connection. They like you, right? So I'm sure most of you that joined because you kind of liked that person or felt like she or him was a good person, to join with. And because you're going to see these people at meetings and you're going to hang out with them. So I definitely want to make sure you're on the same page. Okay, so Nicole was interesting. Nicole attended a virtual party, and she was just all out there posting about all her favorites and how much she loves Pampered Chef, and she asked a couple questions on the business post. So I just reached out to her, just out of the blue during the party. I just messaged her and I said, hey, you're like posting, you're already doing my job. Why don't you do the Pampered Chef? And she was kind of like a little hesitant because she works full time and she just had a little girl. And I was like, you know what? Let's talk about it. Can I give you a call? Right? And then we talked about it. And when you talk about them on the phone, they are basically just telling you their concerns. They are telling you why they think they cannot do Pampered Chef. Because maybe they don't want to stand in front of people. Maybe they don't drive. Maybe they don't have time. So it's our job to kind of share, conquer these objections. Like I said at the beginning, conquer the objections and find out why this business can work for them and not why they think it cannot work for them. Who else do we have? We have Melissa. Melissa did a virtual party. She was one of my green dots, and she booked a party, and her friends were so excited, and she's not local to me at all, but I asked her multiple times to join, and she gave me all the excuses. I'm too busy. I don't have time. I go to school. I work full time, but her friends just loved it so much. I was like, oh my God, like your friends really need a local Pampered Chef consultant. Like you should seriously do this. And she ended up joining at the end, and she's this. She qualified. She's doing a little bit here and there, but she told me, God, when I'm done with school in December, I'm ready to do this full time, because she qualified, she made some money, and you just realized how really easy this business is. And the last one is Lynn. She booked a in-home party from a virtual party, and she said, oh God, no, I will never sell Pampered Chef, is what she told me. She's like, I don't have time to add anything else. And when I asked her one more time, she said, you know what? She's like, that's actually what she said. She said, before I completely say no, never, I do have some questions. Can I call you? So, we talked on the phone, and she came to realize that the 3 big items that she wanted from her party were in her starter kit. And she kind of sold herself on it. She's like, you know what? I was looking at it, and she's like, well, this is how much it would cost me if I buy it. This is how much it would cost me if I buy the starter kit. Why don't I just try it? Right? So she decided to come on. So these were all hosts. Whether they booked a party and the party wasn't started yet, whether they joined after the party. So my last 10 recruits were all hosts. And I will probably tell you that I would probably say 95% of my recruits are all hosts. So, and just like I had you raise all your hands when you joined, that most of you hosted before you joined Pampered Chef. So, just make sure you ask them several times. Make sure you set up 3-way calls with your director, with your upline. And I will tell you that you will get more comfortable once you start hearing these calls. And you might be a little surprised of how little we actually talk during these conversations. So, to sum it up, make it about them. Don't make it about you. Ask every host multiple times. Ask them until that party is submitted and closed, and send off to Pampered Chef. Don't prejudge anyone on why they cannot do Pampered Chef. It is not our job to prejudge and tell them they can't do something because we think they can't. So make sure you ask everyone. And the biggest one is consistency. The more shows you have consistently, the more bookings you will get, the more recruit leads you're going to have. It is all a numbers game. Okay, if you have 1 party a month, then maybe, you'll get 1 recruit every 3 months. The more parties you have, the more recruits you're going to get. So these are my little tips on recruiting. So I'm going to open it up for questions and hope that I can answer all of them. So anybody have any questions?
Claudia, I know that Donna sent a chat. Did you see it?
No, I didn't. Okay, so I did share that, Donna. I think you came in maybe a little late, but basically when someone says, so Lisa, you're like, hey, Claudia, I have Elise who, might be interested in joining Pampered Chef. Can we set up a 3-way chat? So I always start with, hey, Elise, so what's sparking your interest in joining Pampered Chef? And then she might be like, oh, I love the products, or I'm hosting a party, or, I'm looking for something to make extra money. Okay, that's great. So do you have any questions, or do you just need to know how to get started? And then I just answer their questions. And really, really short. Like, I listen to their questions, and then we go back to, okay, are you ready to get started? Because if they're ready to get started, there's no reason to tell them about anything else. Because we can go over all the details once they join. Any other questions?
So what do you do with the busy objection? Like when you start talking to people, you clearly know that they're fantastic at what they do, and yet they tell you that they're really busy and they can't add one more thing to their plate. Okay, so different ways. You can say this is actually a perfect business for the busy people, because you actually, as a busy people, know how to divide up your time. You know what to do when, and you're probably more organized than someone that's not busy. So what if I told you that, you could do 1 virtual party a week, you could make $100 a week, and it would maybe take half an hour at night to set it up. Something it just kind of depends what they want. Like if they're looking for extra income, but they just think they're busy, and it depends what busy is. I mean, there's people that go to school, work full time, and have 3 kids,
that's busy, right? There's people that work full-time and go to school, that's busy. So it just depends on how much they can add to their plate, but also, reinforcing that this is their business and they can do as much or as little as they want. So if December is a very, very busy month, maybe you'll just do one virtual party. In January, when maybe things calm down, then you could do a little bit more, but it totally depends on what you want from this business and how much you're going to put in.
I have a question.
Yes.
I know you know, but I had one person, they ordered and they are, I want to know about the business. But now that I'm trying to get a hold of her in every single way, she's gone MIA. What is the best way to just reach out and get her to say something?
Okay. And that could be difficult if you can't get a hold of them, right? But if someone checks that, I'm interested in the business, then the first thing I do is I call them. And I just say, hey, this is Claudia, Pampered Chef. I just got your order and you checked that you might want to find out more about Pampered Chef. Here's my number. Text me when we can set up a time to chat. I would love to help answer any questions. And I might do that via email, text, Facebook. I'll find them on Facebook and I add them. And if they don't answer, I reach out like 3 times. But the last thing that I might reach out to be like, hey, I know you were interested in the business. I have an exciting new offer just for this month, and I would love to help you have a paycheck before Christmas. Can you give me a call today? And then, there's only so much we can do if they don't answer. And you could mail them a little join-us brochure and a little note too if you haven't done that.
Oh,
maybe just a personal touch, right? Anyone else have questions?
Hi, Claudia. It's Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany. Tiffany's our newest director.
When you call past host.
I just wanted to comment quickly on the busy objection. I work full-time and have a family of 5. And Claudia can probably tell you what last month's paycheck was since I hit director. So it is doable. It is possible. And I'm a great example. So if you have anybody that's giving you that objection, by all means, I have no problem also offering up my story.
Yeah, and
I
busy.
think kind of it's escape because honestly, I've explained trying to make it real and saying the 3 people that are in my downline right now all work full time and have children and families. But the nice part is that they can make it flexible to their schedule. But so I don't know that that's necessarily the reason why they're saying no exactly. It's funny because as I tell Lori, it's almost like everyone's overthinking it like I did. And in my situation, like I definitely wanted my husband's blessing with whatever I did. So that was the biggest deal for me, was getting him on board with what it was. But in terms of cost effectiveness, and not to call out other direct sales, but there are other companies that have significant investment involved in starting their business and inventory and all these requirements. So if you're getting a kit that's 75% off of what's in the catalog, like you really don't have anything to lose, so clearly I'm sharing all these things and still getting the objection. So I think what it comes down to, like you said, Claudia, is continuing to ask until they tell you to stop.
Yeah. And you know what? You brought up a good point that I didn't even mention, but I always say, can you give me 30 days? Can we just try it for 30 days? Because you're not going to sit on 100 rock rocks that you have to sell. You're basically just getting a good deal on some kitchen goodies that you can keep in your kitchen, even if this does not work out for you. And it could not work out for you. It's not for everyone, but it's definitely for everyone to give it a try. Right? Who else had a question? I think there was someone else.
Claudia?
Yes.
Claudia, this is Rose. How do you, when you approach a past host, when you call them, what do you use as an opening line with them then?
When you call a past host specifically about joining?
When you call a host in the past?
Yes. Okay,
So
I probably don't just call out of the blue like that. What I would do first is I would rebook her. Because I feel like if I have a party with them, if I can get them to have a party, they're halfway in the door. That's like my halfway mark to getting them to join. So I'm maybe somebody does, but I normally don't just do like out of the blue recruiting calls like that unless they're really needed. But yeah, but I mean, if you do need it, then you can say, hey, last time you hosted a party, this is how much money I made, and I just wanted to touch base with you again and make sure that this is not something you wanted to try for the holidays and bring in extra income. Maybe situation has changed. Do you want to talk about it?
I'd like to know who on this call started their business in that way, where you had a party set up and it was before your party started that you chose to join Pampered Chef. I know there's at least one person on this call.
Not me.
Robin, you are.
Yeah, and I had them raise their hands. So there was lots of them that hosted a party.
Lots that hosted, but in that way that you just explained.
Gotcha.
In that way that you just explained, where you have the party set up and then you say, listen, this could be your party. Why don't we change it over to you? That's exactly. Robin was a previous host of mine. I did a cooking show for her, and then I moved and we set up a virtual party for her. And then after we set up the virtual party, the more she thought about it, the more it just made sense.
Yeah.
I think I joined before I had a party set up.
Yeah, and Casey, you were a great example. So Casey was recruited by someone else, and she set up a 3-way call. And I remember that 3-way call because, I just remember that it was a 3-way call. So, you were recruited by this 3-way conversation call with, Michelle's director, Rick, then. So.
And I dug my feet in. I didn't say yes right away.
No. Well, you said you needed a kick in the butt, and I said, I'll give it to you. I didn't even know her, but that's okay. All right. Any other questions? Any other tips? Did I miss something maybe that someone wants to share?
I have a different word choice that I use sometimes that I wanted to share, just around the whole idea of giving it a try, because I do say that same thing. But my little spiel is that, there's no Pampered Chef police, or there's no Pampered Chef new consultant kit repossession crew that's going to come after you if you change your mind and decide you don't want to do it. And that lightens the mood a little, and I think it gives people room to think about it also.
Yeah, and you never know. You need all types of people on your team. Okay, you need people that every 6 months submit a party. You need people that sell a lot. You need people that recruit a lot. You can't just think that all you want to recruit is top sellers and top recruiters in this company. You never know when someone's situation might change, and they might be sitting on this business, and now life changed, and they need to step it up a bit. So. You need all types of people on your team. So don't be disappointed if someone just wants to join for the discount. You still, they still benefit you. Okay. Any other questions?
I do.
Yes.
Do you often, have you ever recruited other direct sales?
Oh, yeah. Yes. All the time. So they can do both businesses. So my go-to thing is, just because someone buys a lipstick doesn't mean they can't buy a spatula, or just because someone buys a candle doesn't mean they can't buy pots and pans. So most of the time they're so different to Pampered Chef, or you're already selling something to get them to lose weight or whatever. Why not sell them the tools to make the easy food, right? So don't prejudge. They can totally do 2 different businesses, and a lot of times they've also been burned out by a different company, and they actually realize maybe the support they're getting, or maybe just how easy it is to get started. And sometimes people go through a couple companies until they find something that works for them.
Well, the reason I asked is because I just did a cooking show. She told me that we were going to have 5 or 6 people there, which I was fine with. We got there was 1. Some people joined later, but every person that was there was in direct sales. There was Tupperware Girl, Sensi 31.
You still do your whole spiel, and you know what? Sometimes they ask specific questions because they're curious.
Well, I did do the ask the business asked me questions about the business, but I was kind of put off because when I got there, when I got there, I had forgotten my chicken, so I had to run to the store real quick. So when I got back, her first person was there, and she was in the process of signing her up to be a teammate of hers. I'm like, why would you do that?
Well, you don't know. She could still buy Pampered Chef, but sometimes other direct selling. Well, I will tell you, like if someone works for a different company, sometimes they're like your worst host. So I will just leave it at that. I'm sure lots of you have experienced that. All right. Any other recruiting question? Who's going to make 2,000? Go ahead, Donna. What?
So I just want to make sure, you may have covered this, but many folks have not experienced what it's like to go through the extra 30 days when you're recruiting, and for these new recruits to have the extra 30 days and how phenomenal it is, and the word choices to use and why they want to start before the holidays. So they can use those products, and then they get the extra 30 days, so they get 120 days of rewards. It's really huge. So did you cover that already?
I didn't go over that, no. But so if someone joins today, their 90 days are actually not up until April. The 30 days end in February, not January, and the 90 days don't end until April. So even if they really don't plan on doing much for the holidays, just sign them up now, because they at least can earn that Stoneware Entertaining set, and they can start lining up New Year, New You parties, double free salad choppers. I mean, yeah, it's crazy right now.
Have the products through the holidays to cook with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is huge, and to share with their friends and family, which is really huge.
Right.
Guys, this is like the best month to recruit.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Knowing that they have that much time. Any consultant that has ever started in December, I know you guys all start at different times, so you're just like, really? But this gives you an advantage if you get out there and share this month. It is absolutely huge, because you just say, look, you'll have these products to cook with for the holidays to share. You get double free in January, and then you get a whole extra month on top of it. You can't lose. You just try it.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Thanks, Claudia. One was the verbiage you said for setting up the interviews with you guys. Like, how would you approach that if you're talking to somebody?
So I normally suggest something like this. So Lisa, you are interested in this business. You're probably going to have lots of questions. And just to make sure that I get your questions all answered the right way, I am still a little new at this. I would love to just set up a 3-way chat or 3-way phone call with Claudia, who's helping me getting started, and just to make sure we answer all your questions. Do you have 10 minutes tomorrow, or what time are you available tomorrow so we can give you a call? All right, just don't say interview, and just don't say upline or director. Like, that just sounds a little scary to people.
Okay, the other thing is, you talked about doing Stealing Hearts as a live event on a VP. How would you do that?
It just popped in my head that you could do it. You could say, hey, I'm going live at 9 p.m. tonight, and we're going to play a game, and I don't know, pass it around wherever, I don't know, get some cards. I know Terry Strutton does the ticket activity, I think. No, she plays the dice game live. So, yeah, I've never done it, but I mean, I'm sure there could be some kind of way to do it. But I just do ask me any questions you have about the business and get an extra 5 tickets. And then I give them examples. How much money do you make? How often do you work? And when they ask me how much money I make at a virtual party, I share my very first commission check, and then I share one of my recent checks.
It just seems with the Ask My Questions, like I don't get the reception from that game. Even if I prompt them with questions, it's like people are already sniffing out that I'm digging, so they prefer not to answer. So I figure like the Stealing Hearts, might be more.
Yeah, and I'm sure we can figure out a way on how to play that online too. But sometimes I'll tag the host, or I'll tell the host, hey, I just tagged you in a post. Can you tag some people so they can earn some extra tickets? Right. Okay, anything else? Y'all good? Everyone's going to be a top recruiter in 2017 and earn excellence in recruiting. And I don't even I'm not too excited about the jewelry. I actually like the 500 Pampered Chef dollars. That's a good chunk in your Pampered Chef account. And then you get to wear a fancy dress on stage. All right, everyone good? Okay.